series as they make their way backstage, and we prepare to load onto the Rift. The People's Republic of China taking some unexpected victories over Team Korea. They just need one more to close out the series, whereas the Team Korea fans, the Republic of Korea, sending the best of the best to the stage and finding themselves worthy opponents in Team China. But with all of that out of the way, all of the preamble gone, it's time to get into this. 10 players will load onto the Rift and only 5 will leave, as it's Team China taking on Team Korea.
Fans have gone through it. I just want to see the Lee Sin pick fly. Come on, MLXG, show me what you've got.
What's it going to be? That carry MLXG performance? Or are we going to see something else as we load onto the Rift for the deciding match of this best of 5? And you can hear the fans already chanting on for their teams. Team China versus Team Korea. Faker forced to step back. The flash! And already a flash cleanse.
2 games in a row, Ming makes the play happen, gets the flash onto Ruler last one. This time gets both summoners on Faker. Not how you want to start game 3. 4. Close enough.
Yes. Match point. What could be the 3rd victory for Team China, but they're already looking to control that mid lane. MLXG taking Lee Sin into the jungle. Peanut taking that Olaf to try and match it. He gets a leashless start and turns towards red.
Here's what's key about this jungle matchup. The reason why we don't get to see a lot of Lee Sins out there is because the matchups are just bad. You're an electrocute jungler going up against what seems like an Olaf. He's going to be chucking axes. It's actually really bad for you. That you just get outright damage. One of the oldest counter picks in the book. But you still pick the Lee Sin for the setup. You're confident enough for the gank. Super impact in the lane. And then, of course, once you ping 6, the Lee Sin kicks is what we're looking for.
Those Dragon Rages to set up for the carries and find the kills. Now Faker, this wave pushed in. He's catching all the CS that's flooding in towards him, but already we see very early river control out of Team China. They've got a defensive ward in Pixel Bush and taken the top Scuttle Crab as MLXG is going from buff to buff, and Peanut is forced to go for a very close to full clear as he finds himself with double buff.
Yeah, and speaking of forced, Faker is forced to play under his tower. He knows that going up against a Lee Sin, one thing Lee Sin has in mind is to make the ganks happen, and the taunt that is available for CA makes it all the easier to go up against the flashless, cleanseless Orianna.
A very scary matchup, but the cleanse is already half duration to coming back, so not quite as much threat for Faker. If he can only hold out for just a few more waves, he should be fine. But Let Me finally has himself a favorable matchup in the top lane against Keen's gangplank. You can see Keen is setting up to keep himself safe from any dive, places a ward on the Krug camp to make sure that there's no chance MLXG appears. And still the information game bounces between the 2 teams.
Yeah, and those wards are really crucial. Know that Gnar has a lot of masteries he can go towards. Going towards Airy just means that I want trades. The trades that he gets long range, throwing out the boomerang, really converts into a dive. And so MLXG, if he gets it, it's available for him, he will look for it. So if not to get the kill, to force GP from taking the massive wave, at least he gets this one. You always have to keep in mind on how this matchup goes for Keen.
He has brought Peanut back towards that top side of the map. His first recall is completed. Peanut's got himself the boots to synergize with that Predator and a Ruby Crystal for some more sustain as Xie teleports back into the mid lane and the waves bounce out. Finally, Ruler gets himself a safe lane down in this bottom half of the map. As even MLXG is sitting in Tribush just to pull the attention. And he will be spotted out by a ward, though.
When you're going up against Suzy and Ming, I don't know if you ever get yourself a Saint lane. Sure, you have the Tahm Kench, so that's what makes sense for it to happen. The exhaust to follow too. Remember, that's exhaust versus ignite from both supports. So you can already tell the mentality behind both these matchups. But CoreJJ and Ruler still have to be aware, get the wards down so MLXG cannot impact it.
Now Ming steps up to look for vision onto Peanut. They want to know where that Olaf is going. He's trying to dodge the vision that was placed on Gromp. I don't think the Scryer's Bloom spotted him, as there were no pings onto him, and he's heading down for a lane gank towards the bottom lane. That's the flaw to Ming. Flash. Ming trying to set up for some more damage, but the Predator. Peanut's racing up. Devourer is ready. Ming is the target, and he goes down. First blood, Team Korea.
Flash to get the slow across. CoreJJ sets up the gank for Peanut. Well done. Kill's gone across now.
LXG now setting up for a gank top. Uses the ward hop to close the gap. Sonic Wave is ready. He tries to bait out the flash, but it's held onto. Keen does not flinch. He holds his ground and escapes with his life.
Incredibly well focused from Keen. Keen just recognized he needed to wait for the reaction on Q. So this is where it all started. Flashes over the minion wave so he can actually get the Q across. And so Ming, waiting on his cooldown so he can body slam out, just wasn't going to be given to him.
Ends up giving that first blood over to Ruler. The bottom lane might finally get a chance to go into his favor in this game, as even Infernal Dragon is picked up by Team Korea on a very scary composition. 4 huge damage members as the game goes on, so massive investment for them.
This is pretty good for China before that point after. Remember, the mid lane matchup was supposed to go in favor of Faker, but since losing both of his summoners, and on top of that, Xie getting minion dematerializer was just making it so hard for Faker to deal with cannon waves that would come through. So it was looking good initially. Mid lane and bottom lane were pushing, but now Korea found themselves a foothold in the bottom lane.
It's opening up to a 600 gold advantage, and we'll keep an eye on how that bottom lane goes, as it's a BF sword start from Uzi against the Bilgewater Cutlass for Ruler. And he just needs a little bit more gold, as that's the body slam. CoreJJ not back out of lane in time, and Ruler will take some damage, but again, he's got that Cutlass, so we'll get some lifesteal to heal himself back up. This wave is pushing in, and MLXG is on the bottom half of the map. Plus, Xie's picked up level 6, so we could see a potential dive if Team China were thinking about it, or they might just try to reset the wave and gain control over the bottom half of the map.
It's a good way for Ming to play out the laning phase. Getting the chunk down means that you're right, you have Bilgewater Cutlass, you can play to just sustain, but you were already in an aggressive standpoint. Now you're looking to play at a range so you can heal up and throw your Qs so you can get the minions across, rather than trying to get the trade on towards Uzi.
Now we do see Uzi still pushing this wave up, using those feathers to try and clear out that minion wave as quick as he can, and still just patrolling back and forth. He's actually brought MLXG out of the jungle. There is a Scuttle Crab just expiring and a control ward, but another in the Pixel Brush. Ming now looks like he's about to be spotted by that control ward, and they're just going for a blue steal as Faker is caught recalling. It's a small jab from Team China, but it does deny that wave clear to Faker in the mid lane, which could open up Xie to move around in just a few minutes.
You would expect Korea to know this is happening now that they brought their bottom lane to the play. You can see that MLXG would likely go to secure the blue buff of his own in the opposite end. We're seeing if that's the case, because actually Xie putting down a ward to defend it, so that would look to be a triple buff.
Yeah, Peanuts actually completed his recall. He did not go for that blue buff despite the attempted recall. As MLXG lands the Sonic Wave. The kick sends him back. CoreJJ gets pulled and snared. That's the Cannon Barrage. Ruler's out the front, and Ming eats some damage, tries to soak it up. Another Sonic Wave, but the Chains of Corruption does so much, and MLXG decides not to follow. Uzi chases it down, nearly has the damage and finds the kill under the turret. But here comes Peanut. Teleport coming in as it's an all-out brawl. Level up from Ming. He finds the cast. CoreJJ goes low. Uzi finds himself the double but dies. Gifts over the kill to Peanut, and it is 3-2 in favor of Team Korea.
But he risked it all to get that double kill, and this is a massive wave now being denied against the Varus. So mission complete for Team China. Get the advantage on towards Uzi, and he netted it for himself.
With everything on the line, match point, and one game still to lose, he decides to flash under the turret. Comes up with the double kill, but ends up giving another 2 over. 1 to Peanut, I believe that's actually 2 now to Peanut. And MLXG, he's not done yet.
Fancy feet Faker. don't need thumbs. You don't need to blow him at all. As long as you got the movement speed there, uses his command distance as W to be able to just give him the extra movement speed to duck out of there, duck out of cover. Now he's moving along here.
Yeah, they're going to claim control over this bottom half of the jungle from Team China as blue buff is passed over to Xie. Oh, yeah, Ming does not, or sorry, MLXG does not take it. And sending Xie back towards this mid lane. But now as we get towards this 10-minute mark, we're seeing Peanut start to step up. And you said 2 kills on Score versus 2 kills on Peanut. What would you rather see as we get to see this play again?
There we have it. 2-for-1 special, kicks him into the back line. But this is the value you have out of Tahm Kench. You try and focus him down. Not only did he get the shield here, but it actually came back off cooldown to try to get him again. But you're right. 2-for-1 special. They just go for the kill. So Uzi commits, has the tower aggro, tries to go for the Tahm Kench as well. So there we have it. We didn't get to see the full play because it was a very long one.
It was.
But Peanut has 2 kills now, and that's the primary strength Korea now has.
And we see a Rift Herald attempting to be taken by MLXG as she follows him deep into the jungle.
You ain't going nowhere.
Gives him a pat on the back as he makes his way out. But Peanut, like we said, this is the difference between the two. It was 2 kills on Score in Game 3, and he wasn't able to affect his lanes. Now, Peanut has the 2 kills on the same champion. Can he do what Score could not?
Well, first time around, you actually saw the answer to that, which was when he just had a lane dive directly towards Ming. Now he's going to do it again. I mean, the pressure's already there. Why not have a second shot at it?
They've already set up the control ward, though there is a defensive ward on Tribush that might spot Peanut if he steps too close to the lane. He's looking for mid, but Xie is playing so close. Good shockwave. Catches him in midair. That's the Ragnarok. Xie goes low. Peanut decides not to go under the turret as MLXG follows it up. The Chilling Smite, but that Cannon Barrage, Abyssal Voyage, gets Core JJ back in.
He was threatening for the Wardhop kick, so you had to flash off with your Faker. You can see it in his eyes. Didn't happen. But you can see it. That's the difference between Score and Peanut. He was looking for these plays, and he's relentless. Get away from that wave, buddy.
Xie still flirting with danger. That Sonic Wave misses. Peanut's not very tanky, but they're trying to deny Faker these minions while Peanut is trying to hold them. The wave pushes back in, and Peanut does pull it to the side to buy a little bit of time, so Faker won't miss too much, but this is a recall opportunity for Xie. And still, we're seeing a CS advantage for Let Me up top as he's pushing constantly into Keen. This should equalize with this wave, and bottom lane is still in favor of Uzi with that kill advantage.
There we have it. Now Peanut, of course, the base coming down. He's going to be looking to try and defend this Infernal Dragon.
Flash Smite is ready for Peanut. He's got no Ragnarok. Core JJ sees this. Smite secure. Team China are forced to back out. Ming's over the wall. Wardhop gets him to safety. Peanut decides not to follow up. With Korea pressing forward, they're pressing forward in multiple directions. Xie has found Faker once again under the turret. They're fighting over the Raptor camp now. Uzi trying to clear it out, but Peanut will get the secure with a Smite and that Ragnarok.
I think the benefit of that is that they denied Korea from having double Infernals. But look at the situation they're currently in. Galio probably needs a base for himself, but he's getting constantly pressured under tower. This is the Faker special. Push him in and let it rip on the tower. Tower's getting chipped down a little bit constantly just based off the matchup alone. You can't keep Faker here unscathed. You have to do something.
If he's allowed to keep pressing, eventually that turret will fall, and we know what this Orianna can do. He's being passed over this blue buff now as it respawns, finally able to get the buff for himself. As Xie heads back into the mid lane, MLXG is on the prowl. He steps up the shockwave, pulls it in! That's a bait, but there goes Xie. He's forced to back out of this. The Predator, the slow, but Ragnarok means Peanut's able to soak some of this. It falls off just in time for Ming's cast as Xie heads back to his turret.
Layered on top of Orianna's damage, Peanut just destroys him. That was such a good follow-up. I mean, there was no way for him to respond. No flash, no reaction. Nothing you can do in that situation. He was gone.
And again, we see the trade-off. Winds of War trying to clear out the minion wave, but Team Korea are pushing off the back of Faker's pressure. They're getting more and more damage onto this turret. Luckily, Ming completes the rotation from bottom to defend it. It is still standing for Team China, but here we get to see it again through the control ward.
So you see him coming through the control ward, as you mentioned. He peeks his head out there, walks up. Look at that. That's just true. I mean, true lockdown CC. Nothing he could do after that. He was already dead by the time the CC from the Orianna ulti actually came out.
Yeah, no hesitation from Faker. He sees his opportunity and he takes it. That's what makes him such a good player, because he is so decisive. Now Rift Herald being started off by MLXG. Pepper Peanut once again spots this out. As he's looking to collapse around from the side, Xie looks to zone him. There is no Ragnarok from Peanut, but he's nearly got his smite back up.
Doesn't have much mana to him, so I wouldn't really look for a longer engage from Peanut.
Team Korea actually collapse on the pit. They bring CoreJJ and Ruler, even getting a teleport out from Keen. As Letme close to Mega. Not sure if he wants this fight. Keen completes it. Shockwave pulls MLXG in. He's dead again to Faker. 5-2 for Team Korea, and they take the Rift Herald.
Ming and Uzi were stuck at base. They were coming. They were going to be there in about 30 seconds, but they didn't have 30 seconds. The play happens. MLXG tries to go for his steal, but of course he's going to get picked out by the Shockwave.
And no hesitation from Korea. They drop Rift Herald in the mid lane. This charge should be enough to break it down. Mid-tier 1 falls.
A lot more fiery out of the Korean roster now with the Peanuts in here. You give him 2 kills, and he just keeps going. I love the fact that we're seeing a completely different game now as they brought in Peanut.
Much more aggressive play is opening up the map. Now Faker is unlocked on this Orianna and free to maneuver around. Peanut synergizing in an unexpected way by collapsing on MLXG's mistakes and forcing him into a bad position, not once but twice in a row.
Hey, this was the old SKT duo. Peanut once upon a time was across sides from Faker. They get to play once again with each other, and you know what? Unexpectedly, the synergy is back on track. 4 kills from just 2 of them, just combined. The pressure is there, and they're doing really well to just completely nullify MLXG, and in this case, Xie.
And non-stop push out of Faker, using the Shockwave again to keep Xie busy. Uzi, meanwhile, he's finished off his Stormrazor, but he's a far cry away from the kills that he had in Game 3. Same champion, but completely different tale at 2-1-0, as Ruler is actually 22 CS ahead. Despite being down in a kill, he's finished off Blade of the Ruined King, and he's got push pressure onto the bottom tier 1 with Peanut on this half of the map. So it's in fact Peanut's aggression that's starting to open things up for Team Korea. This turret will be held, though. Luckily, that Xayah has got plenty of wave clear, but Triforce finished off for Keen. Luden's Echo finished off for Faker. Blade of the Ruined King for Ruler, and Peanuts picking up his own tank items. Things are looking pretty good for Team Korea.
Yeah, and they were setting for themselves up a pretty reasonable dive down bot lane. Knowing that Lee Sin was top side too, Uzi and Ming just kind of respected the pressure and took Krugs. As you can see, nothing there. Nothing here you can see with your axe toss.
The undertow. Peanut still feigning a dive. Faker's roaming away from the mid lane. Ruler steps up, but Ming doesn't take the bait. Uzi does, though. That's the cask again. Pulling CoreJJ to the side. A flash gets Ruler out of there. The target CoreJJ. Chains of Corruption has found Ming. He's slowed. That's the hero's entrance, but he's already dead. Ragnarok gets Xie into the fight, but already his support is out. It's a kill advantage for Korea.